Good afternoon, everybody. I don't know if I have everybody online right now. All right, very good.
Hello, good afternoon.
Miss uh, Sima
Good
and
afternoon.
Miss Irene.
Yes, this is Irene.
Right, good. It's nice to have you online right now.
Yes,
Nice.
nice to have you
All
too.
right, we'll
Thank
just
you.
take a minute or two to allow the other speakers to join us.
Okay.
While we wait for the other speakers, I would just probably just start because we wouldn't want to waste anybody's time. It's supposed to be a very short webinar, and we don't want to really take people's. All right, I don't know. Is our internet
Um,
perfectly okay?
Yes,
Because I
mine
think
is
I'm.
fine.
yes, yours is fine. I don't know if mine is okay. How the internet can be in Nigeria, but it should be fine now. Okay. Irene, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So, Mr. Allah, I
All
think
right,
it's
are
on your.
we?
Okay, Mr. Allah, we can hear you now. I think.
Okay, very good, very good. All right, let me start by saying that this webinar is. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes. Yes.
Loud and
Mhm.
clear.
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and you are welcome to this special webinar, Money Matters for Teachers. It is brought to you to help us all start having honest and practical conversations about our money. Generally, you see, when we talk about money, some people are so humble to the extent that they are shooting themselves in the leg by not asking relevant questions where they are supposed to. So, um, my name is Abdulkarim Olaiwala Ahmed, and I am the CEO and founder of Ivory Crystal Media, the host of this webinar. It's a privilege to have fantastic speakers, to say the least. I'm so honored to have many of you here because I know I don't have the ability to pull the caliber of speakers I've been able to pull for my people this time around. But it's really fantastic to see you, and you're here to give us from the wealth of your knowledge. This webinar was created with every of the teachers that we have in mind. And our work is to talk about the hardworking teachers and what they do every day. And after the whole thing, you ask a question: how much have I saved? Or how much have I been able to set aside to do some other things? You will find it difficult for some of our colleagues to, say something about that because as they are earning, they are spending. So the answers are not always easy, and that is why we are here to learn simple methodology of how to keep our money and how to work with practical strategies to secure our financial future. There is a general statement that the teacher's reward is in heaven. I, for one, want to believe that believe that our reward because the other day I was having a conversation with some of my colleagues and we're talking about how many teachers do you have on the Forbes list? And you find it
Hmm.
difficult that most of the people that are on the Forbes list of richest people in Nigeria, richest people in Africa, richest people all over the world, they are always entrepreneurs or people that are, doing other things other than teaching. But I do tell people that teachers can also be rich. And this is why we are here. We need to discuss how we can actually manage our money and do the best we can do with it. I would love to introduce our speakers one after the other, but I think it's best I allow you to do the job as much as you will talk about your pedigree for our people. So I will start with my very own person, Miss Fatima Aliu. I want her to take a minute to introduce herself and let everybody know who she is because you will see her and she will talk a lot about some other things. But before we start, let us just get an introduction from her. Miss Fatima Aliu, you have the floor. Miss Fatima, you have the floor. Okay, I don't know if the network is clear over there, but while we wait for Miss Fatima Aliu, let's have Miss Irene Chinwe. Let her introduce herself to our people. She is also one of our fantastic speakers. This is the first time I'm seeing Miss Irene, by the way, and I'm happy to see you, madam. Just take a minute to introduce yourself to our people over here.
Okay, I'm happy to see you too. And I'll just give a short introduction about myself, a very short bio. So my name is Chinwe Irene Otugo. I've been a teacher for 16 years, 16 very long and rewarding years. And I started my profession in Anambra, where I've taught secondary, I've taught younger children, I've even taught some adults. Then I moved to Abuja and I taught in several schools before leaving Nigeria as the head of my school in Nigeria. And I'm currently in England where I run an inclusive drama club for children. And I'm also into child development. So everything about children, everything about teachers, that is where you find me. So I'm currently pursuing higher education here in England, and I still have very close contact with my teachers and my students back home in Nigeria. So that's a little snippet about me. Thank you.
That's a very humble presentation, to say the least. I know there is still more to talk about, but she doesn't want to
Oh,
go
yeah.
into the details.
Okay.
She just
Let
said,
me
let me
add it.
paraphrase and
Let
give
me
you.
add, I'll add a little bit. Now, when Fatima reached out to me about this
All
webinar,
right.
I was interested because one, I'm Igbo, and two, I love money. So I love money. I like to make money, and I love to spend. And I also love to save money. And just like every teacher in Nigeria or all over the world, our salaries are never enough. So I told Fatima that okay, I'll come, I'll attend, and I'll be part of the speakers, and I'll try to share my wealth of experience with every other person because aside teaching, I'm also a businesswoman. So I would like to share how I merge the two together. So yeah, so that is something else I've added onto my bio.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So, thank you very much. This is really fantastic. Some of my audience will want to ask you how you manage to japa. So, when they ask the question, I hope you'll be able to assist them with the japa.
No worries.
All right. Let me move to my very own brother. He's my brother because we started the journey of entrepreneurial education with a company in Abuja here together. I'm talking about none other than Mr. Temidayo Iniaji. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name correctly. We used to call him Temi Tooth,
That
so it's okay if I just go with Temi Tooth, right? So
Yeah,
please
yeah,
just
that's
take a
okay.
minute to
That's
introduce
okay.
yourself.
All right.
Please
Thank
take
you.
a minute to introduce yourself.
All right. All right. Thank you, Mr. Ola. It's a privilege. It's a privilege to be here. I've been a teacher for the best part of a decade now, of a decade, I mean. And currently, I work as a school lead in one of the biggest schools in Abuja. I am a personal finance enthusiast. I'm somebody who practice what I'm a person who pride myself in practicing what I preach. I have so much passion for seeing people manage their finances and their resources very well, and not just that, but also going ahead to invest wisely and probably attain financial freedom. And within the teaching space in Nigeria, that's a concept that is very alien. A lot of teachers are not paid well. In fact, a lot of people see teachers as poor people.
Mr. Temida, are you there?
Yes. Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Welcome back, Fatih. You're
Yes, we
speaking.
can hear you, Miss Fatima.
Yes. First of all, I
Welcome
want to
back.
apologize. You know how internet is. I'm so sorry. I was scrambling to find what the problem was. I had to switch internet, but sorry. I hope I didn't
It's okay.
interrupt
Mr.
anything.
Temida was actually talking before now. I
Yes.
don't know, maybe his network is also erratic over there. But
Mm,
while we wait for him to come back online, Miss Fatima, we are introducing ourselves to our audience. So
okay.
Miss Irene did a very fantastic job introducing
Yes.
herself.
Yes,
And
she
I
did.
already told her that people that are having this Japa mentality would be
Yes.
asking her so many questions. And
Yes.
I said, now let's have your introduction.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor. So my name is Fatima, and I'm a teacher first, even though I'm so many things. But I pride myself in learning, first of all, because I always think that the best teachers are the best learners. So I am a learner first and foremost. You can tell I'm very passionate about education and the future of education. I own Language Motive School. I'm a founder, co-founder. I actually have other partners, so I shouldn't say I own it. So that's me generally. Anytime you think about learning,
Okay, Miss Fatima. Um, I don't know if the internet is still erratic over there. Let's start the conversation properly while we await the others to join. Miss Chinwe Irene, I think we should start with you. Your topic is on money habits that makes or break Nigerian teachers.
Hmm. Really? Is that
So
my
you are going to
topic?
speak with us for just 10 minutes on our money habits, the money habit of if you can hear me.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me, Miss Irene?
Hello?
All right,
Can you
all
hear
right,
me?
very good. Please just take a minute to address the issue of money habits. I mean, take 10 minutes. Yes, I can hear you. I say you should talk about the topic of money habits that makes or break Nigerian teachers?
Wow. Was that my
And give us
topic?
your wealth
I
of
prepared.
knowledge regarding it.
Okay, 1 minute. Fatih, is that my topic? Money habits that make or break Nigerian teachers. Is that my topic? I thought my topic, what I prepared for was
In-
sorry?
Sorry, go ahead. You had a question, Miss
I
Irene.
said my topic, what I had prepared for was how teachers, how to like strategies and ideas and tips
Mm.
on how Nigerian teachers can, like basically help themselves save money and explore other streams of
Mm.
income. That was what I prepared for Mr.
Oh,
Abdin.
yes, Mr. Abdul Karim. Okay. I'm sure maybe because we kept logging in and out, so maybe he threw that question at
Okay,
you. So,
but that's fine.
yes, yes,
I think
yes.
my answer will encompass my preparation and the question that he also asked me.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes.
So I had prepared a little note and I'll be looking at my notes to say some of my points. But
Okay,
before
no problem.
going to that, this is what I ask every teacher because, yes, I've been on several recruitment boards. When it's time to recruit new teachers, I've always been, at the front of it. So, the question I always ask teachers is, "Who are you? Who are you? Why? Yes, everybody wants to earn the big box, but tell me, who are you?
Mm.
What are you bringing to the table? What
Yes.
experiences do you have? What are your values? What's your passion? What drives you? Because these little things will make the difference between somebody earning the big box and somebody
Mm.
just um, starting his or her career. So I'm not going to talk about people who are just starting their careers. I'm going to talk about teachers in general.
Yes.
So to answer Mr. Abdul Karim, why
Mm.
do teachers struggle so hard? I'm a teacher, I'm still a teacher, and I would say, permit me to say, poor choices. Sometimes it's poor choices. Did you want to be a teacher or did you join the profession to earn money? Are you here to make a difference or are you just here to earn the big bucks? Now let's look at the people earning the big bucks.
Mm.
Who are they? What's their CV like? What are their experiences like? What trainings have they done to better themselves, to increase what is in their head, to impart knowledge to children out there? So that's one thing I always ask teachers. When was the last time you went for a training and what was the training about and how can it benefit the school environment, the children, yourself as a teacher? So that's one question that I ask a lot of teachers and they really struggle with that. So the first thing I would say is teachers should work on themselves, read,
Mm-hmm.
like work on
That's true.
themselves. Exactly. So work on yourself, work on who you are. Who are you? If you're a sports teacher, if you're a science teacher, if you're an English teacher, how many trainings have you done? Where do you work? What schools do you apply to? Do you apply to this, like, what's his name, Mr. Temidayo? He said he's in one of the leading schools in Abuja. How did he get there? I'm not sure he just strolled into
Yes.
that school.
Yes,
How did
Mr.
he get
Chemidayo.
Exactly. So how did he get there? He didn't stroll into the school and say, "Hello, employ me." So if, for example, I ask him, "Send me your CV," and I look at his CV, I'm going to see trainings. I'm going to see how he has charted his path. He didn't stumble into it. So there's a path. There's a pathway into getting there. So the higher you go, better and the smoother it becomes. Okay. So for teachers, I always ask your
Mm.
salary. How do you manage your salary? Money is never enough. How do you manage it? Sometimes you're a poor manager of money. You go online, I go to various platforms. How do I manage my money? Do I do the 50-50 savings rule? Do I do the 30-20-50? How do I do all these things? So I advise people these are the things that I do. I get my salary, I write it down. Okay, I'm going to be paid at the end of this month. What am I going to budget for my feeding, my accommodation, my this, my that? That's one thing. So budgeting. Are you good with money? Are you good with budgets? Fatih said that Miss Fatima said that this talk was going to be very practical, very simple, very real. So I ask my friends who are teachers who say, oh, we don't have enough money. Do you budget your money? Or are you always sending money home to your father? Are you always sending money home to your mother? Oh, grandmom is not feeling well. We have to, you've sent money. How do you now cope at the end of the day? Where do you live? What kind of housing do you live in? Where exactly do you live? You could decide, okay, I'm not really buoyant now. I'm going to have a shared accommodation. You start small, you grow small, and you get there. So these little things, if you look at it, adds up. Every Friday for the men, every Friday you're out with friends, you're enjoying yourself. It adds up. All these little things add up. So I do a lot of delayed gratification. If I achieve something, I tell myself I will give myself a treat, because, like they say, all work and no play makes Jack or Jill a dull boy or a dull girl. So I do a lot of delayed gratification. Okay, if I do this, if I achieve this, if I smash this goal, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take myself here. I'm going to travel here. I'm going to do this. And I do that. And when people call, oh, we have this problem, I go and check. Have I exceeded my, for example, 10% of giving out to friends? If yes, that's it. Family come, I will check, because I have a book. I have several books. Have I exceeded? Yes. Nothing. I don't have it, because I cannot pour from an empty cup. So teachers should budget properly and manage their savings well. There's something that I've always done. Miss Fatima knows me personally, which is ajo, or we call it isusu. I've always done it, right? And I've always been the convener, the one in charge of it, because I trust myself and people trust me. So I've always done ajo. I get a group of teachers, we come together, we save money. At the end of the month, one person takes it, you solve your problem, you pay your rent, you buy your car, you do whatever it is that you want to do. And people will look at you and like, how much is she earning? And she can afford this car. How much is he earning? And he can afford to live in this neighborhood. It's ajo. That's one of my secrets. It's ajo, right? So Mr. Abdulkarim asked the question, why are teachers always in this situation? Because we don't want to think outside the box. Miss Fatima knows me. I call myself, I wear many hats, and I want to believe that I'm a master of some of them, not all, but some of them, right? I cook, I paint, I draw, I do makeup, I do artistry, because I cannot rely alone on it's not my teacher's salary that brought me here, right? So you have to think outside the box. So that's what I like. Going back to my first question that I said when I'm doing interviews, who are you? I want to know who you are. What are your interests? You must have interests that bring you joy. You must have hobbies that you can monetize. So that makes you a total person, a whole package, because I don't want a dull person coming to my school to teach my children, just teach them to read and write. That's not what I'm employing for. You are supposed to raise these children to fit into the society for tomorrow, financial education. So what are you? What other things do you do? What other skills do you have? So I want to urge teachers to really look inside and ask yourselves, what skill do I have? What can I monetize? What can I do? Right? Right here in the UK, I do stuff too. I cook. I write reports for people. I still do curriculum planning for schools in Nigeria. So if I'm doing that here, it means that when I was in Nigeria, I was wearing so many hats to pay my bills, to do all that I have to do. So I have some tips and strategies that I've written down here to share with people who are listening. Number one, private tutoring. I did that. I did that for a while. I did private tutoring for a long time, right? Lesson note planning, test creation, home lesson, online teaching, holiday coaching, book clubs. You could be an English teacher and you speak very well. You have the right diction, you have the right pronunciation. Every Saturday, you get some children together and you teach them and you collect a little fee from their parents. Shared accommodation. I'm a fan of shared accommodation. If you're not ready for a stage, you're not ready for that stage. Everybody wants to live in Guzape. Everybody wants to live in Asukoro. Everybody wants to live in Jahi, or all these nice places. And yes, your environment matters a lot because it can mar or break you. You can find a friend and you share accommodation. You can do bulk buy. So many things, so many strategies that teachers really need to explore to be able to handle this T-pain era. And this is me speaking as honestly and as simply as possible. Think outside the box. Think outside the box. Your teaching salary will never be enough, because as you grow in your profession, as you earn the big bucks, your bills also increase. But teachers were always like, oh no, we want better salary. Even if you earn ₦1 million, even if you earn over ₦1 million, it will never be enough. If you don't have financial discipline, if you don't budget your finances properly, and if you don't think of these other strategies to help you to cope in this economy. So just these little points are some of the things that I would like to share. Me, for example, Fatih, you knew where I had my restaurant. I had a restaurant in Abuja. It wasn't very grandiose, but people were always going to come in, eat. Some people will say, oh, I want you to cater for a party I have next week, and I'll do it. Somebody else will come and say, I've got this child who is writing an exam. She needs to sit for IELTS, and I will do it. I was doing all these things. And thereby, I was saving money, advancing myself, enhancing my lifestyle, and here I am. So, with these few points of mine, I hope I haven't confused you, but convinced you on how to manage money properly. Thank you.
Sorry if I can jump in. I'm so sorry. I just want to say a few things.
Mhm.
I've known Irene for a very long time. This is her in in a nutshell. My yes, my dad always used to say the grace you need to make money is actually no, the grace you need to spend money rather is actually more than the grace you need to make money. If you check the difference between you and a medical doctor or an engineer that you envy their lifestyle, might just be a matter of how you spend your money, like Miss Irene said. So I just wanted to throw that so that I don't forget. Thank you.
Can I say something? I want to say something. Sorry, before I go off, I want to say something. There was something Fatih said, and she mentioned a medical doctor or an engineer. And yes, a lot of us, many of us, majority of us, we look at these people as the profession with the big box. Definitely. The medical doctors, the engineers, the people in tech, they're earning the big money. And we ask ourselves, how do we bridge that gap? Right? I know people in the teaching profession who I don't want to say if I was earning the big bucks or not, but I want to talk about other people. I know people who are currently earning the big bucks. My very good friend, gave me a call a few days ago and told me, "Oh, Irene, I got a job XYZ. This is the salary," and I was like, "Fantastic! It's over 200% salary increase." And I was like, amazing. And what did she do? It takes me back to one of the points that I mentioned. Who are you? How are you? How do you approach? What do people see when they see you? Are you valuable? There's some people, I tell people, some people are unemployable, while some people are anywhere, nothing will, they will always get a job. They will always get a job. They'll walk into some spaces and any figure they mention, it will be given. Why? Because take away the CV, anybody can doctor a CV. When the headhunters or the recruiters or the head of school or when we talk to when I talk to some people, I know that there's value in this person. So those people can command big bucks and we will pay. Why do we? Because they have worked on themselves. They have undergone several processes. They've gone for several trainings. And when they say, this is what I deserve, and I deserve this because I have this, we say, okay, and that's it. But when I ask you, so tell me about yourself. What have you done? Where have you worked? What experiences do you have? What trainings have you done? And you're like, um, madam, actually, I'm just so that's it.
All right, Miss Irene, thank you so very much. Miss Adiyu, thank you for also sharing some of the ideas. For me, I think some of the take home from her presentation is actually who are you? I think if we continue to ask ourselves that question as teachers, we could ask ourselves, who truly are you? And how are you positioning yourself is another thing that she mentioned that I think it's very, very fantastic. How are you positioning yourself? And that is, you go for trainings, you go for these, so that when the opportunity that you've been praying for all your life presents itself, it won't be like, oh, you are
Exactly.
ill-equipped. before the opportunity would show up. So we ask our teachers to do take this positioning element.
Mr. Abdul Karim, I'm sorry to cut you short. Oh, I talk too much. I have a problem. I talk too much. I and Fatih knows this about me. Ideas, I keep having a billion ideas jumping out of my head
Very
at once.
seriously. He's a
And
very
I'll
she's having that is will be sick. Yeah, it's almost like a norm. So her own solution would be to just spend the money before somebody will be sick, so that they won't be needing the money. So I think it's one of the problem we have in this part of the world. We want to take care of everybody at the detriment of our ability. So she mentioned black tax. I think that's a very huge element that we as teachers should work on.
I'm sorry to interrupt you for one last time. Once I interrupt you this last time, I promise I'll take super glue and I will zip my mouth shut and I will talk again.
Okay.
Please forgive me. There was something you said. There was something you said, and I really want to elaborate on that. You talked about positioning. And that's another thing. You have to show up, you have to position. This, my friend, one of the reasons why she got this job, she moved, she positioned herself. She was telling me, Irene, I want to go and live in so place. And I was telling her, why do you want to go there? What happens there? What are the qualities? What are the calibers of school you will find there? Nobody is going to pay you that kind of money there. So for you to earn this big money, you need to move to this area of town. And when you move to this area of town, you need to be ready for this area of town, because this is what you're going to see. These are the kind of teachers that this kind of schools want to employ. So you need to position yourself, move, get ready, apply. And that was what she did. She moved, she got ready, put on a creative cap, expanded herself, went back to school, is doing I think a master's or a PGCE, I think. She's doing a certification, got her CV ready,
Yeah.
got herself ready, showed up, positioned herself, and boom, she got the job. So this is me zipping, zipped.
From the beginning, I already know that I have the ensemble of teachers, and teachers they love to talk, so I can't stop you from talking. So thank you very much for that addendum. It's fantastic. I'm going to move on quickly, but I want to say one or two other things who would have missed some of the things you mentioned, Miss Irene. You mentioned shared accommodation. You see, some people just want to prove that they have arrived when they have not. So they want to stay in big places and they want to have 10, what's it called, bedroom apartments. If you can only afford one, just do one. And even that one, if you cannot afford it, share with your friends. So I love the idea of shared accommodation. That's another way of, keeping some money so that you can use it to do more
Yes, I agree.
contribution.
Yes.
And we are buying through contribution. So I think contribution is a huge thing for any teacher that really want to do something for themselves.
Miss Ramat, can you hear me?
I can.
Yes. We'll just give Mr. Ola a few minutes to come back.
Okay, Miss Ramoti is here, right? Ah, sorry. My apology,
Yes,
Miss
she is. She
Ramoti.
has.
Take
She has been patient.
take a minute to introduce yourself to our audience,
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good
please.
afternoon, everyone. I hope you can
Good
all hear me.
afternoon.
I'm
Yes, we
Ramata
can hear you.
Abdusalam. I'm a seasoned educator. I'm a counselor. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm a teacher. I'm a founder of the Teen Nurture Network. Mostly, we work with the teenagers based on skills. This topic is very, very essential and important to teachers because as a teacher, we learn to accept the fact that teachers are poor. And we just have this kind of mindset and the way we feel about ourselves. We feel less of ourselves. Even when you are out there looking for job, most of the time, what the employees do, they look at the level at which you pace yourself. Some give you room to negotiate whatever you want as a take home, some don't. But even at that, you know what you want and you know your role as a teacher. Um, when I saw this topic, I said, this topic is really on my neck because this is like talking about what I always talk to my colleagues as teachers. I refuse to feel less of myself. So one thing we just have to work on as teacher is our inner self. Our inner self, believing in ourselves, and trying to discover who you are and your strength. Teachers go in teaching because we feel it's the only last or just the only available occupation. But I think no, a doctor is proud of his career, a lawyer is, and a teacher should also be very proud of being a teacher. Because if whatever the lawyer wants to do with his financial life, a teacher can do the same thing. It's all about setting goals and having plans for yourself. I'll stop here since I'm just introducing myself. When it comes to my turn to talk, I think I have a lot of things to digest with everyone. Thank you so much. Miss Aliyu.
Yes, thank you so much, Miss Rama. Thank you for being patient. And a lot of teachers are very enthusiastic about this topic because, like you said,
Good.
some teachers we see ourselves. We know how we see ourselves. We see ourselves less than.
Yes.
Yes. In fact, a lot of teachers didn't go to university to read education in the first place. Maybe they chose something else and they gave them the course that they found themselves in education. So we look at ourselves as less than. However, we're here to change that narrative. So you understand that there's a lot more you can do. And I'm sure that, Mr. Ramatu, when the time comes, we would, you will tell us more about your perspectives. So Mr. Ola will be back. Let me check that he's here. Let me not take his position, but he will be back. Just has a little internet problem. So I have the next question with me here. The next question I'll ask you, Mr. Temidayo. You're a very experienced teacher. You're a head of school, I believe, or assistant head of school at some point. So you will be a very key person to speak here. Um, what I want to ask you is about pensions and gratuity, how teachers can understand retirement options in Nigeria. If you know a few things from your experience, that kind of long-term saving, because we have talked about budgeting, but that kind of long-term savings where they can keep money away from their future, if you know a thing or two about that, if you would mind, if you don't mind speaking about it. And Mr. Allah, you are back, please. I didn't mean to take your position, but just wanted to fit
It's
in there.
okay. It, it's very important. It's very, very
Yes.
important.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Demidayo, you have the floor. I'm not sure he's online again. Maybe the network.
Yes, it has been terrible.
Okay,
This
Mr.
is
Ola.
yes.
Mr.
Oh, we hear
Temidayo,
you.
welcome back.
All right. Should I continue?
Yes,
Please, sir.
please. Yes,
You have
please. Yes, sir. Oh, okay. So while we're waiting for Mr. Tebindayo, I will just read some of our comments that we've been getting. I've been highlighting a few of them. So once he comes back, I will just run away. So there's a very important comment that we had that I was going to read earlier. I was just waiting for the right time. From Miss Edidiog Essien, and she said it will be unfair to use lots of training certificates as a criteria for employment because a teacher may be willing and enthusiastic about attending training, but time could be a constraint. So she's saying, some teachers want to get the certifications and to upgrade themselves, but they don't have the time. Any speaker that wants to speak
Uh,
about that will do that at the right time. Mr. Temidayo or Mr. Ola, over to you.
Mr. Temida, welcome back.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Ola. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Yeah. Well, talking about time for training, the time constraint is something we have with as teachers. It's the time is never enough, even for your lessons. You're in school before 7, you close sometimes 4, sometimes 5, and all. And coupled with the fact that you have other responsibilities to attend to. Yes, that's very correct. Time is a factor. But then I always believe that when there is a will, there is a way. Meaning, if you actually are determined to upgrade yourself, upskill, and then attend a few trainings, there is always a way. Now, for example, during the long vacation, no, during the December break, there were a few trainings I was sharing with some of my teachers on on my school platform. Some of these trainings are online, and yet they are teacher centered. There were a few trainings by the British Council. Safeguarding. I know these are very common trainings that some of us must have heard of, but there are about 4 or 5 different professional trainings that are done by the best hands. I mean, the best experts all over the world, teaching you about how to manage children and also, yes, trainings. Going out to a venue for trainings might be difficult, but now with your phone, with your laptop, you can go online, do 1 or 2 online trainings. You could even go on YouTube, watch a video or the other about one area or the other that you are lacking. And these are ways you can build your skills and improve yourself. So that's it. Thank you.
All right. Uh, very good. That's a nice one. Let me say one more thing about that training and positioning yourself type of thing. The truth of the matter is, no matter what the situation is, you cannot have enough time. You can never, ever have enough time. As we are, trying to build ourselves, at one point or the other, you realize that the time is still not enough. But in fact, it will eat into your time for sleeping if you are dedicated enough to do this. So we it's something that we have to be deliberate about. It's not going to be easy. Nothing is going to be easy, especially regarding this positioning yourself and being ready for opportunities. It's never going to be easy. It's called grinding for a reason. You have to grind. You have to go the extra mile. So I believe, like Mr. Temidai once said, another route you can go for is the online route. There's so many fantastic courses by so many different, of whom are free to say the least. It's just our ability to search. If your school, for example, is affiliated to the British Council and Cambridge International, you are going to have access to something called the OSSD, and that OSSD is a platform where you can, go through so many courses, webinars, courses, and so many things that would put you at another level as a teacher. So I want to advise Miss ACN, is that her name? Miss Fatima, am I correct? All right.
Yes,
So
her name is
I want to
Excessive.
advise, right? I want to advise, if you have the privilege to do extra with your time, especially going online and going for courses that are not going to be physically challenging, please try and do that. It puts you, like Miss Irene mentioned, I'm also a school head myself. And when I'm looking for teachers, I don't look for teachers that are not vast. If you don't have those certification, if you don't have those, I'm not going to be very sure that you have what it takes to deliver the message. So regardless of what the condition of time may be, I will advise for you to please find space and time out of this no time to do 1 or 2 things that will put you at another level, so that whenever we are looking at qualification and certificate, we see every other person's own, we'll be looking for yours because we have what it takes to push our institution to another level. So I think that's that. I don't know if Ms. Ramatu has done justice to our topic.
No, yet.
Okay,
I'm
very
yet
good.
to talk
So
about it.
you are yet to talk about it. So can we, Ms. Fatima, can we give her some time to talk? Then we'll move to you.
Yes, please. I'm also highlighting a comment from Miss Essen. Thank you so much. She also says thank you, Mr. Temidayo. Okay.
Okay, very good. So Miss Ramatu, please take like 5 minutes now
Yes.
because our time is fast spent. Take 5 minutes and talk about your topic for today.
Okay. My topic for today is payslip to prosperity, smart savings, and budget strategy for teachers. Um, at the beginning, I want to start with the new teachers. If you're new into the teaching profession, please, I want to emphasize that you try and take something from this, because one thing we forget is how do we get paid, what are the deductions we get, how our tax, insurance, or whatever are taken, so that we know what's our final take home and we work with what we have. Sometimes we get carried away. Before you know, you'll be 5 years, 6 years, even 10 years in teaching profession, and you're still saying teachers are poor. You start from it, you get the ball rolling from day one. The first thing we need to understand, this is what I'm earning. Even if you are earning as small as little as 50,000 as your take home, you can do something out of it. I was here when the first, I don't know if she was the first presenter when she was talking about savings, the ajo. Yes, saving is a very, very lucrative one. That's the easiest way you can do so many things. In a term, every school, in every term, they all have plan. All right, these are plan for the term, for the session, or for the session, breaking it into term. Even we as teachers, let's have plans for ourselves in a session. That's a whole year. Then we're also having a plan in a term, in a smaller way. Keeping those savings, okay, I earn this. Definitely we have to take out our basic needs out of our savings, out of our final or our gross and take home. Take that certain amount out of it. If you don't have any side hustle yet as a new teacher, you have to manage. You don't need to be the big boy or the big girl. You want to buy the latest things and latest that. In a term, okay, this is my plan. At least I want to ensure that by the next 4 months, I no longer take transport out of my salary. What do I have? How do I have to go about it? That's a smaller plan. You have a smaller plan before you get to the bigger plan. Okay, you need to learn how to save. If you're saving 10,000 out of 50,000 in a month, by the end of the term, you have 30,000 savings. If that 30,000 can take you for a new term as your transport, I think you have done something. You need to celebrate yourself. Oh, wow, I've done something. So before the end of the whole term, definitely you see what you have done to your savings. But in the time that you just see your salary, sorry, you just get your salary, and what you're after is just to spend and take friends out and celebrate because you're working in a big organization or something. No, you have to realize that you have to start small, because even if you're earning 200,000, you don't have that saving culture. Let's not just depend on luck. That's one thing that make us fall apart, and we just realize it's already 10 years and I'm still where I am because we're always expecting luck. Yes, luck can come, but let's work with what we have. Saving is a good one. When we have saving strategy, emergency savings, not everything a family member call you for and you say yes, I want to do. Yeah, it's good to be generous, but yourself first. Love for yourself is very important, because at last you just have to stand alone. And calling every family member or calling friends all the time to request for some little token or for just urgent 2K, urgent 5K, at some point it become useless. So have a plan for yourself. Okay, I need to get a car because where I move or where I go is far. Look at it. What, how would that car be of benefit to you? So you don't jump into things because you want to belong. You jump into things because of your own particular needs. So you understand what are your needs and your wants. Knowing your needs and your wants here, it will also help you to manage your savings and help you to manage whatever you're going home with it. Now you have to think out of the box. As a new teacher into teaching profession, even the doctors or even the engineers, they have contract, they have side hustle they do in their profession. Though I realize not all teachers really want to be teachers. Some are teachers by luck. Sometimes they say, I just want to teach before I get a better opportunity. But since you are in teaching profession, please stop thinking that way. Better realize that before that bigger opportunity come, guy, babe, you just have to hold something with you. That opportunity cannot come from anywhere because you have to create that opportunity for yourself. Another thing, sometimes you find yourself in an organization or in a school that they care about your professional development because of the fact that you're not passionate about teaching, or you feel they are just using you, milking you for their own resources. No, they are milking you. At the same time, you are an apprentice in that place because you are learning that thing for your own self. The time for you to shine, when it comes, you realize, how did I learn all these things? Because that time you have been milked, you are milked, and you're feeling exhausted, tired. You're really doing it with sincerity and with the mindset that I know what I'm doing and I know where I'm heading to. So, budgeting, when you have that little plan, the small savings get you to the biggest savings. Sometimes we teachers will say, no, now this year I need to move because I want to talk as a private teacher. Private teacher, we just move the way we want. We don't wait for any time because okay, this is my salary. Okay, there's a school that is bigger, or there's a school that pays better and I need to move there. You don't know what it takes for them to employ their staff there. You need to find out, what does it take? How do I get myself to that level? How do I develop myself? How do I meet to their standard and meet to their taste and quality? So you just have to put that in your mind and give a tag, give a deadline to yourself. Okay, I don't want to stay beyond this, and these are the things I want to achieve. Have that small plan that you checkmate yourself. Check yourself. Am I working with my plan? Is something coming up? If there are distractions, you find a way to filter it. If there's a change in plan, you find a way to balance it so that at long run you're able to meet your end goal in teaching profession. So that when they say, I say the rich teacher is coming, we are not poor because you have made that plan. You have worked on yourself. Because for me, I'll say the best thing I have learned in teaching profession, it gives you opportunity to develop yourself. Unlike other profession, not other profession, they don't care about really developing themselves and becoming stars in what they're doing. No, it's just the money. The money is coming. But at long run, as teacher, the money will come, the fame will come, the popularity will come, like all the artists you're seeing that are making their waves because you develop yourself on your own. You believe in what you're doing and you're working with what you're doing. So teachers and the young teachers in this career, please and please and please take teaching as a passionate career. Don't take it for luck. Luck can come and it may not come, and you remain redundant and irrelevant in teaching profession. Thank you. I'll stop here, but I know before the end of this session, I still have more to say. For the 5 minutes, I don't know. Am I really working with the time, or I'm eating too much out of the
You're
time? Thank you, Mr.
you're a
Ahmed.
teacher. We don't expect you to work with time. We just gave you a time frame.
All
uh,
right, thank
Miss
you.
Miss Rabatu is she was a
Take him
colleague
out.
of mine. We worked together in a school, and there is something about her that is always fantastic for me, and I want to share here. If Miss Ramatu will allow me. Miss Ramatu would start a small poultry business of fish. This fishery, and by the end of the time, when the fish are grown and all that, she will sell to all the staff and all that. She's really, really deep in this idea of making money. She is a money maker, as you are seeing her there. So I believe teachers should not always wait for that salary. Like she mentioned, you should try and do something by the side. It's not going to be
Yeah.
easy. It's not going to be easy, but you can try. Like Miss Ramatu here,
Yes,
like
Isola,
Miss Fatima here.
I don't mean to cut you short. There's something else that she said, that
Mhm.
when you're working, you need to pay attention to how much you're actually paying as pension. I'll be very short, I promise. I want to say this because
Exactly.
I know teachers who have worked with a school and then they change schools, like she said, they like to change schools all the time. And then when they get to the new school, they'll ask them for their payment information, their pension information, I mean to say. And then they'll say, I look at my pension information, and then they'll find out that the school has been contributing 0 naira, 0 kobo
Into the
for their
account.
pension.
Mm.
Yes, and they've
Mm.
been there for 6 years. So when she said that,
Yes.
that really hit home for me. Me personally, I had to fight. I had to make sure I paid attention to how much there's supposed to be a contribution and amount from the school and then from you, and altogether that is pooled as what is your pension at the end of a working month. So that really
Yes.
hit home for me. Teachers and anybody else should pay attention to that. Thank you.
I
Thank you, Mr.
think
Rama.
I
I really
think I
enjoyed it.
think she's speaking from experience there. So you see, you can't buy this thing in the market. Experience is very expensive, they said. There is, when she was talking about it, I also thought of this gross and net. You know, you will hear some teachers say, I'm moving to another school, they are paying me more. They will give you a gross payment. They may not tell you what they are deducting. Some schools have 10% or 15% job security deduction. Some schools have pension. Some schools have tax. Some schools have, there are so many things they can, you know, deduct from your salary. And if you do not know, you will think you are getting more money because you moved to another school, and then you will realize that at the end of the day, you are still earning probably the same thing or maybe even less than what you were earning in your previous school because you didn't pay attention to the gross and net arrangements. Miss Ramatu, thank you for that. And she mentioned the element of luck. You see, in Africa, we believe that when it's my time, it's my time. God can do it anytime. But if God will do it, what are you also doing to assist God to make it easy for you? So she mentioned that element is very, very important. It's very, very important. And lastly, she mentioned the element of appreciating your school, appreciating your position. And then she talked about apprenticeship mindset. Oh Lord, that is the, for me, that is the take home from here. You see, when a school decides to give you a job to do, okay, manage the social media for us. You said that is not why you employ me. I'm here to come and teach. Now, if they give you the opportunity to learn about how to manage the social media, isn't that an addendum to you? Haven't you learned on the job? So she mentioned that apprenticeship mindset. Oh Lord, it is why somebody like me, for example, can say I am where I am and I can explain it. When I'm talking about it, the experience is there. When they didn't even ask me to do it, I will volunteer. I say, look, do you want us to manage this page? Let me manage it. I will work with you. And that is why you can grow as an individual. So, Miss Ramatu, thank you for sharing that element, the apprenticeship element. It's really fantastic. Mr. Tebidayo, I'm sure you are here to say your own piece regarding your presentation. So we are going to give you the floor now because the time is fast spent. We want to wrap it up quickly. Miss Fatima, you'll be the one to wrap up the whole event for us. You know you are big madam. All right. So Mr. Temidayo,
All right.
Mr. Temidayo, please have the floor.
Yes, sir, Mr. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm here to talk about investing as a teacher. Now, basically, it's about starting small to the point of investing as a teacher. I know the word investing might be alien to a lot of people, as especially in the teaching profession, because you'd be thinking that, well, my salary can barely feed me or transport me to work every month. So how can I start thinking of investment and all? But I tell you today that it's something you can do. And I'm going to give you a few strategies that can help you make it easier. All right. The first thing you're going to do as a teacher, if you actually want to start small and get to the point of investment, is to have a shift in your mindset. Your mindset is the power you need to attain great things, and it's also the power that can take you down. If you have a negative mindset regarding money, regarding your employment, regarding your job as a teacher, then you will not go far in the profession. But especially in the monetary aspect, you need to understand that with discipline and a determination to actually gather resources together, you can actually get to the point where you can become an investor. Number two on my note here, set clear financial goals. What are your goals? Is it to further your education? Is it to get some professional certifications? Is it to have a more comfortable lifestyle? Is it to live in a particular part, or to just have a general a better well-being, which money can provide? Set clear financial goals. With those goals, it keeps you on track and keeps you focused and helps you to stay motivated to keep trading on that course towards getting to the point where you can become an investor. Now, the next point is very, very important. Budget before you invest. Budget before you invest. I got this point from Miss Ramatu. Miss Ramatu spoke about budgeting, and she spoke about having smaller savings and then growing it gradually to become a bigger saving. And when you have a bigger saving, you can now roll that into something, significant, probably like an investment, for example. I will use myself as an example. I am somebody I have this unwavering determination to save. Every month, there's a percentage I save, whether it's 10 or 20%. It takes discipline. I can tell you it is not easy. The bills are piling. The economy is not friendly, but you have to make up your mind to save. Now, you start with saving. I know people will say, what about inflation? Inflation is eating away at your savings. But if you don't save, especially as a teacher, except probably you're one of the people who earns the big bucks, if you don't save, you won't be able to have money, significant sums that you could use to, invest. Now, what I'm trying to say now is usually it's good to have a 12, I work based on a 12-month horizon. That's the time frame I give myself. Every year is a cycle for me. So my savings cycle starts in January and ends in December. Now, what does that do for me? At the beginning of the year, I have a clear goal. I have a path that I want to take till the end of the year. I can decide, oh, well, every month I want to put this amount away. It could be as little as 5,000. It could even be as much as 200,000 or even higher. You do that consistently every month of the year. Let's use 200,000, for example. Oh, no, let's look for a middle ground. Let's say 50,000. You are putting that away. In a year, that's 600,000. Now, okay, there are people who don't earn very much. Okay, let's say 10,000. 10,000 in a year, that's 120,000. And with that, you have started small and you've grown your savings to a certain amount. Now, when the end of the year comes, you have 120,000, for example. What do you want to do with that money? Do you want to invest in something? Then you can start doing your research about opportunities for investment. For example, I have a few platforms I use for investment, and I found these platforms through some of the research I had done previously. Investment in Nigeria is not just Nigeria, globally, was restricted to some certain class of people in the society, like the top 1% of the people in the society. But now, through fintechs, we have the threshold has been dropped significantly. Even with 1,000 or even with 5,000 naira, you can invest. Now, there are so many financial instruments you can explore. If you're somebody who is risk averse, which I'll as a risk averse person, you can look into mutual funds, you can look into treasury bills. Now, personally, I use some apps for my investment. You could get as much as, I think the range is usually between 15 to 22% at this moment. I use a few apps, I'm going to mention them. An example is, now please, this is not, I am not asking you to go and use these apps. I'm just telling you what I do. So if you think you want to explore those opportunities, please do your research and be sure that it aligns with your financial goals, and then make an informed decision. Please and please, I have to put this out as a disclaimer. So, but I am going to tell you now what I do. I put that money away in savings, and at the end of the year, I put it in mutual funds. Now, for example, if you like, my mutual fund gives me an interest of about 2%. Now, if you want to invest in mutual funds, you can invest in mutual funds. Now, if you want to invest in mutual funds, you can invest in mutual funds. Now, if you want to invest in mutual funds, you can invest in mutual funds. Now, if you want to invest in mutual funds, you can invest in mutual funds. Now, if you want to invest in mutual funds, you can invest in mutual funds. Now, if you want to invest in mutual funds, you can invest in mutual funds. Now, if you want to invest in mutual funds, you can invest in mutual funds. Now, if you want to invest in mutual funds, you can invest in mutual funds. Now, if you want to invest in mutual funds, you can invest in mutual funds. Now, if you want to invest in mutual funds, you can invest in mutual funds. Now, if you want to invest in mutual funds, you can invest in mutual funds. Now, if you want to invest in mutual funds, you can invest in mutual funds. Now, if you want to invest in mutual funds, you can invest in mutual funds. Now, if you want to invest in mutual funds, you can invest in mutual funds. Now, So meaning that if you
Yes.
have 100,000 saved up in your mutual fund, at the end of the year you're going to get 100, and like your return is 20,000 on your capital, which is 100,000. If you have a million, your return is 200,000. Now that's simply one avenue you could explore. I'm also somebody who have so much interest in things like real estate. I mean, I'm somebody who likes to buy land in places that are not very developed yet. Obviously you have to seek approval from the right authorities. You have to do your due diligence, but you can buy land as cheap as 200, 500,000, and then you flip it after a few years. In a 5 year time frame, you can flip your land for 2 to 5 times what you bought it. These are opportunities that you could explore as a teacher. So I have talked about saving small and getting it to the point of when you have a bigger saving, and then pushing that money you have into an investment, which over the years can yield something significant. And like I said also, it's important to state your goals very clearly. What are your goals for the year? What are your goals for the next 3 months? What will keep you on track? Because it's easy to put money away for 1 month, but can you do it for 12 months? Can you do it for 2 years? Can you do it for 10 years? It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of consistency to be able to do that over time. Another one is to start with safe, accessible platforms. I have mentioned a few platforms. If you're somebody who's interested in real estate, a platform I would recommend that you do your research on is RiseVest. RiseVest has a very good financial instrument that is focused on real estate investment. If your instrument you're looking at is mutual funds, I'll recommend an app called Cowrywise or what's it called? Piggyvest. Yes, Cowrywise or Piggyvest.
Is Mr. Semida still online?
No, we're just waiting for him to come back because he's giving so many powerful points. I want to know where he's buying land
Honestly.
for 200,000 so I can buy.
Honestly,
I didn't
honestly.
get you.
Okay. Welcome back. I think there's a network issue earlier on. Please,
So
you can
okay,
continue.
I mentioned, I don't know if you got what I said last.
Yes, the last thing we got was cowrie wise for
And
saving if you
piggy
want
vest.
to take
Yes.
one.
Thingy
Yes.
best.
Yes,
Okay.
Cowrywise, Piggyvest. Another one is Bamboo. Bamboo is for picking some U.S. stocks and some Nigerian stocks from the U.S. Stock Exchange and from the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Well, I must tell you, stocks are high risk investment, so you should only invest in stocks if you know what you're doing. However, I do not recommend that except you're somebody who has the experience and has the understanding of how the market works. So I feel for most people who are just starting out with investment, I think you should go into mutual funds because it's safer. However, the return is usually not as high, but it's safe and your capital is preserved over the period of time you intend to invest. So I mentioned Cowrywise, Piggyvest, I've mentioned Bamboo, and I've also mentioned RiceVest. These are four major apps in the investing space in the Nigeria fintech space that can help make investing very easy for you as a teacher. But I also mentioned that, and I said that as a disclaimer. Please do your research before you choose any of the apps that I have mentioned, because you should. It's important that when you're making a decision that has to do with your money, you have to own it. You have to understand what you're doing and make sure you are actually ready to um, go on that journey before you start. Another thing is learn continuously. That's the next point. It's important to learn. Always read, always learn. I'm somebody who never gets tired of reading about money, about investments, because there's so much more information out there. You're learning from the best brains, from the best minds out there. There are a few books I have read that have, in fact, but the first book I read after the university that changed my life and changed my financial life is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I'm sure most of us have read that book. Yes, yes. And there are many others. I have read so many other books, like, to broaden my horizon on the topic and to help inform my decisions. You could read books like The Psychology of Money. I've forgotten the author. There's this other one. What's it called? The 4-Day Work Week. So many books on productivity, on money, on investments, that when you read these books, they've changed your mindset. It puts you on a turbo boost. You go out there with the confidence as big as the world, and you feel like, well, I am going to manage my money better. I am going to invest because I want to be among the richest people in the world. Once that mindset kicks in, I tell you, you're unstoppable. So it's important to learn continuously. And once you have been able to start small, start with some low risk investments like mutual funds and others, then you can start to diversify gradually. You can decide to diversify a little because obviously after some time of investment, your capital is increasing and has probably increased significantly over time. And then you can start diversifying. Oh, what do you want to do? What do you love? Oh, maybe real estate. You want to buy land. You want to build a few houses for rent. Rentals in Abuja, especially, is big money. Like, you have a few properties and you're putting it out for rent. You're a big boy. So these are things as a teacher you can explore. Buy land, build houses. People will take them out. People will take the houses. Every year you're getting paid rent from 1, 2, 3 properties that you've been able to own. This is an investment opportunity you could use as a teacher as well. And lastly, it is important to protect your investment. As much as you want to invest, it's important not to fall into scams, because I tell you, there are so many scams out there, and you could fall into one. And once you do, I can tell you, you are gone. Because recently I was following on social media. There was this scam that took so much money from Nigerians called CBEX. I don't know if you heard about CBEX. So many people put their money into CBEX and lost everything. I heard people saying they had like $100,000 in CBEX. Some said they had lots of money. And then you would ask yourself, why would somebody put that much money in CBEX, a company that has a sketchy record? It's important that you do your research before putting your money anywhere for investment. And that is one of the ways to protect your investment. And you have to ensure that whatever platform you are using or whatever opportunity you are trying to explore is regulated. It is important. If it's regulated by the CBN or by the Security and Exchange Commission or the National Deposit and Insurance Commission in Nigeria, there are a couple of there are a couple of regulatory organizations in Nigeria that help to protect investors. You need to look out for these organizations and ensure that they have given a seal of approval to the platform you're using for your investment. That's the way to protect it, because at the end of the day, you put all your money together, you have saved up for 12 months or longer, and then it all crashes, and then you go down with nothing, and then you find out, well, it was all a scam. It's very frustrating. I see people who fall for things like that every day, and I feel so much pain and so much pity for them, but then I tell myself, well, it's important. Research. You can't go wrong. Just do your research. Find out, does it work? Does it work? Are they regulated? Who regulates them? And then once you can beat your chest and say, okay, they're covered, then you can put your money in there. I think that's the final point I have on my list here. Like I have always said, as a teacher, you can start by saving small. You start small, you grow your savings to a certain amount, and then from when you have that lump sum, you can look at opportunities, explore opportunities for investment that can actually transform your financial life and then put you on a firm financial footing going forward. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I am done.
Mr. Temidayo.
Very
Mr. Temidayo
powerful.
just gave all the tips of how rich people stay rich.
Yes,
And
and how I know, and
and
even importantly, how poor people just keep over that barrier, because he mentioned something about that saving small. Many people have that get rich quick mentality. When you tell somebody
exactly.
save 100,000 at the end of the year, they're like, what's that? What am I going to do 100,000 after 1 year? But you forget, you do that this year, next year, next year, next year. look at what you have.
After this
It's
year,
very
by
powerful.
next year, it becomes 200,000, 300,000. It's about growing. So, Mr. Temida, thank you for sharing. It's really very, very important for us to all understand that to be rich is not a case of just looking at something at the surface level or just doing it, keeping it small. It has to be a disciplined movement. You have to push yourself. You have to discipline yourself, and it's not very easy. It's not very easy. I did some of this. Okay, someone is asking a question, Miss Fatima. So I did some of these savings to myself at the beginning of my career, and to be very sincere, I'm happy I did. I don't want to go into the detail of how much I was able to save or not, but it was fantastic. It was fantastic. So Mr. Temidayo mentioned a lot of things that I think we need to emphasize, and one of them is mindset shifting. Mindset shifting. A lot of us just want to get rich quick, like Miss Fatima said. We just want to make money. We just want to get rich quick. But how are you shifting your mindset towards the discipline of actually keeping the money? Somebody told me about the 3 M's. He said money speaks 3 M's. The first M is make me. The second M is manage me. And then the third M is multiply me. So by the time you are able to make the money, that is when you are earning that salary, the pay slip that Ms. Fatima mentioned, Mr. Ramatu mentioned earlier on. You make the money, get your pay slip, you manage the money by, saving the amount that you are supposed to save, then you multiply by investing. Like Mr. Temidayo once said, an investment doesn't actually have to be putting money in Cowrywise or this thing. You can even invest in business, you know business can be an investment on its own as long as it's going to yield return, as long as it's going to bring in money for you that is going to scale up your capital. I think you can look into it and be creative, like we have always mentioned. Now, before we okay, somebody is asking Mr. Temidayo to connect them. Mr.
Yes, so I
Temidayo,
told you
maybe
200,000 naira land. We want to.
We are also interested. Oh.
No, but
So
to be very sincere, there was a time where they are, actually begging me to come and get a land around what's it
yeah.
called? Suleja, very close to Abuja, for
Wow.
150,000.
Ah,
150,000. And right
when was
now,
that?
that place, that was around 2017, 2016-ish. And right now, in that place, they are selling land for 5 million there now. 5 million. You can see the difference. So Mr. Temidayo is not a
Yeah.
joke. Sincerely, if you can go to places where the land can actually, you know, turn
Yeah.
itself up and become more money, it's not a joke.
Yes.
So please,
Yes.
if you want to connect with Mr. Temidayo, first of all, you pay me 1.5 million to consult for you.
Mr. Tebidayo,
All right.
yes. Yes. So somebody wants to connect. So how do you want them to connect? To
Yes, I
connect
see
I
with
think
the
I think I think we can
I
share
see.
our LinkedIn account, our professional account, for anybody that
okay.
wants to actually connect with the professionals that we have here today that are speaking to us.
Yes.
Yes.
We
Okay.
Yes.
just decide to do this just so we can help ourselves grow as teachers.
Yes.
And I do
Yes.
sincerely hope that you put the word out there that there is a company called Ivy Crystal Media, which is strongly supported by Language Motive School. And we have a group, actually, we call it Real Educators Group. We'll also share the group link. You can join us where we have so many teachers there. And what we do there, we share ideas like this and we give them knowledge to become a better version of themselves. So, Miss Fatima, I hope you'll be able to share some of these links. I don't know how we can do that. We share some
Yes.
of these links so that they can connect with our speakers and then get more insights about how to improve on this journey
Yes.
of money making.
Yes. So since I have your proof of shares, I'm going to share. Yes. So I'm going to share Mr. Temidayo's LinkedIn account. Yes, Miss Irene, somebody also thanked you earlier. So I don't know if you would like to connect. It was Miss Essen. Thank you. She has been here all along. I would also share your LinkedIn if you want to connect with her. So anybody who wants me
All
to
right.
do
Yeah,
this, I can do that.
that's all right.
I think let's quickly wrap it up now with Miss Fatima. The biggest masquerade that we have been waiting for is Miss Fatima
That's
Aliu.
good.
She said, ah. So please share your own
Yeah,
knowledge now with us. These other speakers, they've done a fantastic job. Miss Irene, Miss Temida,
yeah.
Mr. Temidayo, Miss Ramatu, they've done fantastic job. Miss Fatima is going to take it home for us now. You have the
Ah,
floor.
yes, thank you. Ms. Ola, I kind of feel sad that I'm speaking at the end because I'm wondering how I'm going to top all these fantastic people who have spoken. I believe my topic was, just give me a second. I've been moving around to, I didn't look back at that. Just give me a second. So, Mr. Ola, if you have it handy, please, can you just remind me which one it was again? You're muted, so we can't hear you.
Miss Fatima, if you don't have it, we are going to make you sweat for it.
Oh my
Or
goodness.
you
Oh yeah,
pay
yes.
too. You have to pay.
No, I said now building multiple streams. Okay, building multiple income streams as a teacher in Nigeria. Yes, I see it. Please, sorry for my unprofessionalism. Yes, so a lot of speakers have spoken about many important things, but I'll say a few things because everybody has spoken about multiple streams of income. Realistically, we're living in a gig economy right now. So which means people are able to fund their lifestyle, pay their bills really by having multiple gigs. If I should use myself as an example, and I know a lot of the speakers who have spoken, I know them personally. Most of us, you can't really count how many gigs we have. Not that we're trying to flex, right? If you want to live a certain lifestyle, it makes sense that you have multiple ways that you make money, right? So having multiple gigs is very important because your salary is not enough. So I'm going to be discussing some side hustles and some ways that you can really build yourself to be able to make money on the side, especially passive income, because it will not really take a lot of your time. So we'll start with passive income. A lot of the investment instruments that Mr. Temidayo mentioned are very valid, so I will not go over them. But I would say because of the rising inflation in Nigeria right now, there's a lot of CBN policies that are actually rewarding people who save more. So if you look at if you follow investment rates, and let me give you a hint, if you don't want to go on Google to look at it, follow a lot of your banks, your Stanbic Bank. I always read Stanbic Bank's reports. Please look, it's not all jargons. If you look through it, there's a few nuggets that you will pick. If you look at the numbers, they've been increasing steadily because the government wants to, encourage people to save more and invest more as opposed to just being a consumer, right? You're just buying things to eat. So think about all your long-term saving instruments. The one that Mr. Temida you mentioned, treasury bills, and I think he mentioned treasury bills and mutual funds. Those are things you should look up. But in addition to that, think about long-term savings. I will speak about one experience I had with Miss Irene. She was a speaker here. Very, very interesting woman. I met her when I was quite young. I was 24 and I just got, I'll not tell you how old I am now, but I was 24 at the time and I just got into teaching. And I remember she told me that she told me that she had a long-term savings that she did. It was with a bank and she was paying 5,000 naira every month because we're not earning a lot at that point. And I said 5,000 naira. And I asked her how long she has been saving, and she said she has been saving for 4 years or 5 years at that point actually. And then I started the savings. 5,000 naira. In fact, it matured a few years. So I will not tell you when it matured, but it did mature. And I went and collected a few sums of money. So I know Diamond Bank does that, and I know First Bank because I do mine with First Bank. There's a lot of your local banks. Go in there and talk to them. In fact, there's somebody that I worked with, my former boss. She always said all of us were always afraid to go to the bank. Meanwhile, actually, a lot of the investment information you will get, especially when it comes to passive income, is actually at the bank. Go to the bank and ask questions. You can literally go there and say, enter Access Bank and say, I've done it. Access Bank, hey, I saw your promotion, or what investment tools do you have? You don't have to be a millionaire to be there, right? Even though some of the faces of people attending to you may not be very friendly, but you can go there and ask or look through their website and see what investment options they have. Because, like Mr. Temidayo said, it will be better for you to invest with banks, especially for people who are new investors, because there is a very good tendency that your money will be secured and they will give you some of the best financial advice that you can get for free, right? A lot of us don't have money for a portfolio manager. So that's a very good way to start. Think mutual funds, long-term savings, fixed deposit savings, and all those savings that you have. Many banks have it. You can save very little for a very long period of time. And what's very great about those savings is that when you start saving now, right, they don't allow you to pull out the money. So even if you get tempted to go back to pull it out, they don't allow you. So you can just keep saving as low as 10,000 naira. Imagine if you do that for 5 years. At the end of 5 years, you can think about something bigger to invest in. Then, if you go beyond passive income, right, think about all these instruments. You can, if you're comfortable investing there, I would really advise that you start there. The next step that you can take, right, is to think about your skill. What can you do, right? A speaker, I think it was Miss Irene, spoke about turning your passions into things that make money. All of us that are here, we're very passionate about the topic. We're very passionate about education and passionate about entrepreneurship and passionate about helping our communities. That's why we're here. We're not making any money, right? Believe nobody's getting paid. But we're doing this because we like it. If one day this platform becomes monetizable, well, that's fine. We will be here and we'll be celebrating, right? So think about things that you are passionate in. For example, for me, when I was in school, I loved to draw, right? And I thought, and I asked myself, okay, this drawing, I cannot keep scribbling on paper all along, or I cannot keep painting and nobody will look at it. What can I do? And I looked up and I saw people who could paint and draw. They could become graphics designers and cartoonists. And then I took the step forward to learn what it is to be in that industry. So you can do the same thing. Miss Ramatu, she had a, was it, I think it was a farm, maybe a fishery. She was selling fish to everybody in the school. Think about a skill that you have, right? Why it's very important to do that is because you will not pay for expertise. You have to think about that. If you enter a business that you don't know anything about, you will pay a lot of consultants. That's just the truth. So it's always better that you enter a business that you know enough about so that you will reduce your cost in terms of expertise, right? So think about that. I think if you ask me, that would be where level two would be, using your skill, your innate skills with you to create business for yourself. Think about your hobbies, things you do normally in your free time that nobody will pay you for, but you can grow yourself and you have that passion and drive to do it because you love it. Think about that. The third stage, if you ask me, would be so think about people around you. Now that if you can make money with yourself, think about your friends. Those people that will call you and be disturbing you, telling you to come and party. Think about them very well. If you look at a lot of us on this call, we're a very close knit friend group. I don't think I have anybody who just calls me to sit down and hang out again. Anytime we come together, we're talking money or we're talking about Nigeria, we're talking about intellectual things, not to brag, but you can build your friend group to be those sort of people. Why? Because if you have those sort of people in in your proximity, when you need them in terms of making money, in terms of building a business, in terms of partnership, they'll be easier to reach out, right? A lot of us here, we just ask ourselves, hey, can you come and be on the call? If I had to pay Mr. Temidayo or Mr. Allah had to pay Ms. Ramatu, we will not be here to listen to this, right? So make sure that you have those kind of caliber of people in your friend group because it will help you when it comes to making money in a way that is cheap, right? So do that deliberately. Don't make friends with every and anybody. But at the same time, I know a friend, right? And he's actually right here. But I know a friend, he goes out to meet people. And when he goes to meet people, he asks them the questions like, what do you do? How much do you make? Where have you worked? Those kind of questions. It looks like you are being picky, but knowing people, right, will tell you where not to waste your time, right? And it should also tell you the kind of people that you should allow to be close enough to you when you need people for certain things. So I would say that that would be the third stage when you want to think about making money. The final stage, I would say, in terms of building multiple stream of income is to think about a problem. And this is the last. I don't want to take too long because we've been here for a while. Is to think about a problem that needs solving. I'll give you a very good example. What I'm doing now to make a little bit of money on the side. Personally, like every other teacher here, sometimes when we're talking, we're not looking down on teachers. We've been there. Like me, I was always scared of investing. I've lost money to what was it? Was it Twinkers or MMM? There was one of those pyramid schemes. I've lost money there. I didn't want to lose money. I worked too hard for my money to put it somewhere that I will lose. So when people told me about investment, I used to tell them I would think about it. Being very honest, I didn't think about it. I didn't want to lose my money. Well, that's not a good mentality. So I had to work towards it. And I had to go through these stages that I'm telling you actually. The final stage, and I had to ask myself, by the way, you have to ask yourself when you are comfortable moving from one stage, that stage of saving, to that stage of using your skill, to that stage of using the people around you. Please, when you are comfortable is when you move. The final stage that I got to was that I said, okay, I'm making enough. I have multiple streams of income. I have multiple things I do. What can I do to make money? You see, there's a very popular saying, people make money when they solve problems. That is, it's just the truth. If like Mr. Temidayo said, if you enter into the real estate market and you have houses for sale, for rent, you're solving a problem. Somebody needs a house. They will give you money. They will give you free money if you solve a problem. You don't need to do so much marketing. Like I said at the beginning of this talk, I'll give you an example. I went and got an accommodation. I built a house in a place that is very remote. I'm there. And so the only way I get power is by relying on solar energy. There's no NEPA pole anywhere for you to even think about connecting. And so I asked myself, I said, okay, when I got there, and I built a house, I said, okay, how do I get electricity for myself, first of all? And then I invested some money to get a lot of solar equipment. It was quite expensive. But when I did that, I noticed that everybody around me had that same problem. Obviously, they don't have power. They need to charge their phone, right? Even if they don't have TV in their house, they will charge their phone to make call, to do business. And then I thought about it. I can start a small charging center because I have free power that I've invested money on. You see, that's where you should, when you get to that stage, look around you, see a problem around you and think about solving it. That's one easy way to build a business. You will most likely not even need any money to market because you are solving a problem. Like I said, I don't want to keep it too long, but I will just recap the steps. First step is to save. There's no excuse to save, especially now in this economy that they are rewarding savings. I think if you look at the last Stanley Bank report, I said savings is as high as 20-something% now. Please, you have no excuse to save. Look for any of the saving instruments and save. Adashi, Ajo, Abi, what
Yes,
they call it.
Stanbic Mutual Fund is 21%. Yeah.
Yes, it's 21%. Yes, 21%. Which means you get 210,000 if you keep 100,000 for a year. Nobody has any excuse not to save. Start there first. Especially if you are scared of losing money, start there. You won't lose a penny. Then think about your skill. What can you do that you don't need to pay somebody, that you can deliver your service, right? Or deliver a product that is in your vicinity. Do that next. Next, use the people around you because it's cheap and it's free labor. Use them, and then finally think of a problem, a wider problem that you can solve. When you do that, not only would you make money, I know this is about making money, but it's not all money. When you do that, you actually add a lot of value to yourself and to your society. So I'm just going to keep it short here, because we've been here for
Thank
over
you,
an
thank
hour.
you, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Miss Fatima, Miss
Yes.
Fatima, who is this your friend that would ask, where are you working? How much are you making? I
Yes.
hope it's not me.
No, I will not reveal their names for privacy reasons.
Please don't. But what I want to stress there is the element of your network is your net worth. If, for example, I have not been able to surround myself with friends that are passionate about money, I will not be able to call Mr. Temidayo and say, Mr. Temidayo, come and speak for this event. If I don't have friends that are passionate about this profession and making money, I will not be able to call Miss Ramatu. Miss Fatima is always at my beck and call. If I want to call her today, I will call her right now and say, let us do a program together. We can do all of this because we realize that our network interprets into what we call our net worth. So one thing I want our teachers that are listening today to take home from this discussion is be deliberate about people you are surrounding yourself with. I have a lot of teachers in my school right now that they walk around with people that talk negative. How much are they paying us? What can I do with this? How much can I? So at the end of the day, you realize that your mind, your brain, and everything about you is filled with all this negative talk. And it is called, there's a way that thing rewires your thinking and makes you to think like somebody that can't probably make it, to be very sincere with you. So you need to be deliberate about the people you are surrounding yourself with, the kind of language they are uttering, the kind of behavior, the kind of attitude that they exhibit is very, very important. Another thing that she mentioned is using your own personal skill. If you check my profile on my Facebook, you will see I have MC in it. I do MC events. Ms. Ramatu was there when I started my journey as an MC. Ms. Ramatu, you remember, right?
Yeah, of course.
It was in my school.
Every time MC.
We have a show, and I just pick up the mic, and I started talking. And that was it. And I've been able to build a brand for myself. There is an event that I anchor every year, and they pay me good money. Every year, it's like a retainership business.
Sister.
I've been retained, and I go there, make my money silently, and walk away. Nobody will even know. So what skill do you have? And I don't really need anybody to help me with. I'm not going to call anybody to say, okay, come and help me to present this show. I already have the skill set and everything that. So it's very important you leverage on your skill. Like Miss Fatima said, it's very, very important we leverage on our skill. And then solving a problem. Look at your society. There's always a problem. In fact, this webinar is to solve a problem. We were looking at a problem. We saw a problem. We realized that our teachers, need to, manage their money better, need to do well with the money. So we came together to solve the problem. And I'm very sure today that some people would learn something that would change their life. And maybe in the nearest future, they will call Mr. Temidayo to come and share in the testimony about all the things that I shared with them about buying the land.
So
So
yes,
we all have one minute to just wrap the whole thing up so that we can call it a day. I would want to start with Miss Fatima and Miss Ramatu. Miss Ramatu is actually an agent for Money Point on the side. Like we were talking about side thing and all that.
Hustle.
She's an agent
Yeah.
for Money Point, and they have some fantastic deals. Maybe Miss Ramatu can share with us. But disclaimer again, like Mr. Temidayo, do your due diligence. Don't just say because we say it here, you cannot take us to court now because we've asked you to
At,
do your due diligence. Okay. So Ms. Ramatu, you have the floor. You just have 2 minutes so that we can pass it around the speakers.
all right, thank you. I think part of multiple stream of income, we get to do a lot of things. I'm into the Money Point agency, which I work as the business relation manager. Though everywhere now, the banking system, the ATM, the POS have taken the whole market. So many people go into the POS business. So it's one thing I do also. So it's an avenue you can also save, as Ms. Fatima was saying, the savings of bank. Now banks are going online. The commercial bank of the Money Point is a microfinance bank for small business owners. So you start there if you want to go into POS as a business. Then you can also use it in your business, whatever kind of business you do as a merchant. There you have easy access to get a very good loan at ease without any collateral. But it's at your own need. Not everybody is really interested in going for loan. But it's an avenue that you have a bank that is sure that when you need any fast or immediate help for finance, they can cover you up, which you pay in in a smaller bit based on your agreement with them. POS, even teachers, a lot of teachers, some that are smart, you see them, they have a lot of POS outlet where people work for them with their POS machine. You always have two accounts. So whatever you're keeping there cannot go away with your money. Whatever come into your account, you see it wherever you are. You can be in your school working, teaching, and you can see whatever transaction is going on. So it's a very fair and a very open business that you can do as a side hustle also. So, Mr. Ahmed, thank you for giving me this floor to talk about the agent, my Money Point agents business. Thank you so much. So
Do, do, I, do, I, do I
if you
have a
need it, you
choice?
can call on me. At one stroke, we give it
I
to
will,
you. Inshallah.
I will call you.
Thank you.
Miss Fatima, share her link so that if they want to start POS business, they will call her and she would help them. And please, whenever you are collecting that money, make sure you share with all the speakers here today.
exactly.
Okay.
All right,
Yes.
Mr. Temidayo, you have the floor. Just, I don't
All
know if
right.
there's anything you want to say to recap some of the things you've mentioned or just summary of everything and let's wrap it up.
All right. I want to say thank you, Mr. Ola, for this opportunity, and to our listeners. I'm sure you have learned one thing or the other about um, investments as a teacher. You always know that as a teacher, you're not a poor person. Very, very important. Have it at the back of your mind. You in fact, I will call you a pre-rich person. You just a few steps away from being rich. So have it at the back of your mind. Walk around with that mindset. Hold your head high up. Start small. Grow. Look out for opportunities. Invest when you have the chance. And please don't feed from hand to mouth. Even if it's 1,000 naira, even if it's 5,000 every month, put it aside. And over time, that will grow into something that you can invest and you will be thankful. You will thank yourself for it in a few years. That's what I have to say. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. And I'll be looking to connect with some of you on LinkedIn concerning these things we've spoken about here, and hopefully we can grow from there. Thank you.
Mr. Temidayo, you mentioned something right now that I've written down on my jotter. Pre-rich. You are just
Exactly,
you are
sir.
just you're on a journey of being rich,
Becoming
pre-rich
rich.
person. I love that.
Exactly.
No teacher is poor. We are pre-rich
Absolutely.
people.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
Miss Fatima, you may have the floor now.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Olaiwola Abdulkarim. Thank you so much for putting together this opportunity. This was all his idea. And immediately he reached out to me. I said, this is something that we should be. We've always talked about this privately. Mr. Temidayo, we have always talked about this. So why not go online and talk about it so that people can learn. So I was very happy, very honored that he chose me to be here. And I'm also very thankful to everybody. I see some people coming and going as the stream is going, and I see some people have been here. Thank you so much. Everybody that left a comment, thank you. The video will be up so that you can come back to watch it. We'll also share it on Ivory Crystal. They have their dedicated Facebook page, so we'll also reshare the videos there. So in case maybe you're doing a few things for Easter, so you can't stay in one place to watch the video, don't worry, we'll share it everywhere. And depending on what we like, we can bring back this session. I don't know, Mr. Ola, Mr. Temidayo, Mr. Rabato, I don't know if you are up for it. So maybe if this is something that people enjoy, we can do something bigger. There'll be no network issues, I promise, like the way we had earlier. So we can do something more for our community of teachers. So very honored to be here. Thank you. And thank you to everybody, our speakers. Thank you for showing up. Thank you so much.
Miss Irene is not back, but in her absence, I want to say a big thank you to her and
Yes.
for making time out of her busy schedule to be here today too. I'm reading, I can see someone's status saying he bought a land at at that price, and the
Yes.
land is now worth 3 million now. So you can see
Yes. Yes.
we,
No,
we are not
no,
just saying it.
no. I
It's
highlighted
actually
that
some
comment for
people's
you.
reality. Yes, I
Yes.
think that is Mr. Omar.
Exactly.
Mr. Omar is also
Exactly.
a very close friend of mine, a very
Yes.
fantastic soul. Maybe one
Yes.
of these days we'll bring him too because he's also
Yes.
into so many things, car sales, house sales, and all
Properties.
that. He's into so many
Yes.
things so that he can
Yes.
share his own wealth of knowledge too with us. Mr. Omar,
Mm.
I've pegged your name down. Oh. Don't think we'll not call you when this program comes again next time.
Yes, sir.
On behalf of
Yes.
everybody at Ivy Crystal Media and on behalf of our colleagues at the Real Educators Group, on behalf of Ms. Fatima, the CEO of languagemotive.com. And by the way, you should check our company out, please. If you want to learn any kind of language, French, right, Ms. Fatima? German, Dutch,
Yes.
you can go
Yes.
online and you will have a dedicated tutor from her platform. It's a fantastic platform. That's what she started from scratch and she did that. Mr. Temidaya is also a CEO for a company called Temitut. Am I correct, Mr. Temidaya?
Yes, you're
So if you have
correct.
anybody that wants to write examinations, IGCSE, right? All these international exams, and they need a professional tutor that can deliver. Mr. Demidaya's company is doing that. Mr. Rabatu has already explained that she's uh, what's it called now?
Counselor.
Money
Counselor.
point people. Yes. So please, if you have anything, you can also reach out to her. Myself, I'm the CEO of Ivy Crystal Media. Ivy Crystal Media is a company that we are into educational consultancy. We consult for schools. We help schools scale up and grow. We help them with recruitment. We also help in matters that have to do with media. You want to set up your website, you want to set up your Instagram page, you need someone to manage that page efficiently for you, you can reach out to us. We also have a counseling department. If you need professional counselors, Miss Fatima is also a professional, Miss Ramato is also a professional teen counselor. So if you need a professional counselor, you can reach out to us. We would also be available to give such services. All right, so I want to say a very big thank you to everybody. It's been a fantastic journey so far. We've spent close to 3 hours here, and it feels like we have
Yeah.
just spent 5 minutes. And I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank all our listeners on YouTube. Like Miss Fatima has rightly mentioned, we'll be sharing on Ivy Crystal Media page. You can just check us on Facebook, Ivy Crystal Media on Facebook. We'll share this video there. So if you do not have the opportunity to watch it from the beginning to the end, you can just go back and log on and check. So thank you very much. Do have a wonderful day. Let me say bye-bye to all of you with my two hands waving. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.